how to bore a block. Hey guys, welcome back to the Golden Door Garage. This time we're going to cover everything from Jeeps and the Amazon driver that broke down to big builds that are going on and big progress around the shop. Well guys, something kind of exciting happening today. Our Woodward Fab shear is leaving, but it's going to go to a good home, and it's leaving because we use the plasma cutter to cut everything. And when you find out what we are going to trade this for, you'll understand why we couldn't say no. Alright guys, so more changes around the shop. We have our storage room, and we've taken the majority of stuff out. We've got some more to finish getting out of here. And we are actually going to eliminate this as being a storage room, and this is going to become our dedicated clean room. However, it was previously not so clean as where we stored powder coat. So we've gone through, made sure everything was sealed tight, nothing coming through from the paint booth or anything like that. We didn't have an intrusion issue before, but we've now made sure of that, and we're gonna go ahead and get this room slicked up, and the next time you see it, it's gonna have engines in here. All right guys, sometimes things come in that you didn't plan on.
You don't hear that howling noise?
Amazon delivery driver had a little problem, needed an alternator. We got him taken care of. He's gonna be back on the road here shortly. We have a Jeep with a small block. Little Jeep has come in for some work on the starter, getting it shimmed out correct. This one has a small block in it. So we've added some shims. We're gonna try and get this thing taken care of so it fires up nice. I didn't like that. I honestly think it was better like this.
Yeah.
There was damage on the flywheel and the starter. We were hoping that a couple of shims would limp it along, but one shim, two shim, three shim, no bueno. All right, let's see if the starter in the Jeep works.
Way better. So
okay, so I told you guys I'm doing some toolbox changeover, putting everything from this cart into this box, taking some of the stuff that's in this box, going back into this cart. I'm going to turn this into my engine building cart and electrical specialty cart. Toolbox will become just the generalized workstation. But in doing that, I need somewhere for all these pry bars to go, and they don't all fit in this drawer nicely. So I'm going to go hop on the CNC or STV CNC plasma, and I'm going to cut out a piece that'll bolt to where the handles go. That will be a bunch of mounting points for my pry bars, so I can just drop them in right on the side of the toolbox. And then we'll give it over to Ben and let him powder coat it up. Let's see what we can come up with. We got our pry bar rack all designed in the MiniCAD, and it is now ready to cut. So we'll go ahead and do that with the STV CNC. Got the pry bar rack all cut out, threw some little braces on there, welded it all up. Now it's ready to be sandblasted and powdered. There we go, all powder coated up. That turned out awesome. That's going to be our new pry bar rack, so let's get it installed. That is going to work awesome. Goes right on, 2 bolts where the handles normally go in, and now I've got a spot for pry bars. So I would have to say that that is a success. Matches the box. Powder coat turned out beautiful. Bolts right on, holds everything, even has space for a few extras there in the back still. I like it. Well, I am not completely done organizing this toolbox, but certainly getting closer. Looking forward to getting this all finished up. We do have most of our stuff into the cart now that's going to stay in there for engine building and for electrical, so that'll be nice and be convenient to get around. And then I have my box on one side, Alan has his on the other, and that'll make life in here a little bit easier. All right, so here's the deal. Before I can show you the engine room all finished up, let's take a look and get caught up to speed on the Corolla engine and all the machine work that we've been doing on it. Hopefully this pass and one more, and that will be all the sleeves out of our LS3. While that one is cutting, you can note there's a crack here and a crack here. That was the cylinder we were most concerned about. May have to do some repair before we machine that out. We got all of our sleeves out. Now we're gonna start. Now we're gonna start the aluminum.
Should we be cutting that far over there?
Hey, I think we have a problem. Cutting the aluminum has been entertaining. You can see how out of square everything was from the factory based on where we hit and all of those ribs. We have the 6.2 block that we have been working on machining in the evening, and it's back over to the shop here. This cylinder is the one in question. Has a small crack there and there. So before we put the sleeve in, we've got the TIG torch set up with a stubby setup so we can get in there. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can weld that up a little bit. We're back out at Rockwell for some more machining, and we're gonna see if we can cut the weld out smoothly, or if no, it's just gonna go smoothly. That's what's gonna happen here.
We're knocking a piece out.
Yeah, I can see that. Look at that. We've added a visual aid so we can see that we're making contact in the appropriate spots as we cut the welds out. So, resetting the machine again, keep working. Just noticed one of the things with this machine you always want to do is make sure all connections are safe. Always make sure your electrical connections are safe.
And the machine is tightened in properly.
And that the machine is tightened. That's far more important, because this thing wiggles and then you might make a cut that, well, what we've learned in machining is that you're always just one pass from being done if you do it right or do it wrong.
And fire in the hole. And
We tripped the breaker. Once the breaker is reset, we're going to try high speed, because the internet said it'll work. Everything on the internet's always true, Aaron.
that's right.
Now, is there anyone out there who wants to go fast? Anybody?
I want to go fast.
Ooh, that is fast. So, yesterday we welded in this cylinder. Last night we went over, started doing some machine work. We had a little problem. Most of the weld came out pretty nice. However, we got our machine set incorrectly and tried to take a little bit too much off as it came across, and it flexed. And we can see a little line right here where the edge of the weld was at. But the bigger issue is that kicked the blade out and let it dig in on that side. So we also have a little rib right there. Ultimately, it's about 25 thousandths. Since this is getting a sleeve, it's really not going to be a concern. It's not very deep widthwise in the cylinder. But we're going to take the die grinder this morning, grind down through this a little bit, open that up, backfill it. Probably go ahead and do the same thing on this one since we're going to be back in there cutting again. And we'll make a decision if we're going to try and patch that or not. Shouldn't hurt anything, but we'll see how carried away we get. Took our die grinder, went ahead and milled out down through where we could see the cracks had been. Got most of the way through, left a little bit of the wall, and we're going to go ahead and backfill those. Here you go. Went ahead, welded, and then took the die grinder, smoothed back out, getting it close so that it's ready for machining. That should be pretty good for us to go ahead and make a final cut and get this to size so that we can put our sleeves in here. And all of the rest of it's looking pretty good. Have to do some counter bores, and hopefully we can put this thing back together. But it's not the only engine in the shop. Check this out. We mentioned we were building an engine room. Well, we've done it. First of all, you'll notice up here we've got lots of storage space. We've got some racks moved out. We've got a few different things sitting here on these racks. Huh, that's weird. Those are like dry sump oil pans. Into our engine room, I promised engines. Not gonna disappoint. We have the 6-liter LS from the Big Red truck. That is going to go back together here shortly. All of its components, or most of them, are sitting down here on this shelf. I actually have some footage I'll throw in a moment of me assembling the rods and pistons, as well as starting on a trunnion upgrade for the heads. This engine, remember, is going to be 410 cubic inches with a Whipple supercharger on top, so that's going to be really cool. Up next, we have the orange engine. That is a small block Chevy that has been gone through, freshened up. We're going to put a mild cam in it and just make it a good running motor. This is going to actually end up going into a Datsun, an old 240Z, I believe. So that'll be a really cool project, and that car should be coming to the shop soon. And then lastly, we have this. And I don't entirely know what we're going to do with it, but it's pretty awesome. That is an LS-based dart block. This is known as an Ilmor 396, so 396 cubic inch. And this motor is set up for typically an ARCA or Truck Series, but we happen to have gotten a hold of them. Remember when we said we traded our shear? And I did say them because there's that one and an extra. So who knows what kind of craziness we're going to get into with a couple of 400 cubic inch dry sump engines. I'm sure we can make some big power and do something cool. And of course, the resident 2J from the bathroom has moved into the official engine room. So engine room, clean room, pretty exciting. I'm happy to have this. It's a good place we can not only store engines and components, but also I'll just roll a cart or two out so I have plenty of space, and this is where I can assemble engines and not have to worry about any sort of contamination from anywhere else in the shop. First step in replacing the trunnions with an upgraded kit, take the tool. This one's from Summit. It sticks magnetically right there. Put it in your vise, set a rocker in, and you're going to line up this cap, also included in the kit. Place it on the outside bearing, and then simply start applying pressure. Slowly press that cap inward, driving the bearing out. Then take your rocker back out, remove your cap, then you can remove the trunnion. One bearing drops out through the center, and the other should be left in the tool. These stock bearings, need to be careful. They are not captured by anything, so they do fall apart pretty easy. We've got new ones, so now we're going to put the new ones in. We've got this Silverado that's in getting a motor rebuilt. Working on getting the motor together, but want to make sure this thing looks good underneath the hood as well. And so we're going to take care of that firewall that doesn't match the rest of the truck. Hey guys, wanted to share this with you. Not the most pleasant or exciting thing to have to share, but important still. You guys recall this gray Chevrolet that we'd been working on, putting the motor together for that. You know, we went ahead and blacked out the firewall. That looks really sharp. Getting things cleaned up under here and really making sure this is done up nice. Unfortunately, in a tragic turn of events, the young man whose truck this was passed away recently. And so this truck is going to now become a memorial piece with his father, and we are going to make sure this thing is in tip-top shape when it goes back, hopefully this coming week. So that is the engine for it. Beautiful, majestic purple for Noah. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Noah's family, as we know he was a great young man and he will certainly be missed. The description below has a link to the Live Like Noah Fund if you would like to make a donation.